I did do a development timeline for this game. This version is more detailed. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time ultra-detailed month-by-month development timeline, 1994A 1998 1994A concept birth parallel development January 1994. Nintendo greenlights 3 flagship Nintendo 64 projects to define 3D gaming. Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Ocarina of Time. All 3 are assigned to Nintendo Entertainment Analysis Development, ED. Early internal codename resembles Zelda 64. Initial staff, 40 developers. Expected to grow. February 1994. Core technical foundation begins using Super Mario 64's engine as a base. Early discussions center on fully 3D combat, a first for the Zelda series. Memory limits of early cartridges already flagged as a risk. March 1994. Shigeru Miyamoto steps into a producer-supervisor role instead of sole director. A multi-director structure is approved. A new approach for Nintendo ED. Early camera experiments begin. Testing manual versus eye control. April 1994. Development officially targets the 64DD. Streaming animation from disk becomes a major design assumption. Early dungeon flow sketches are drafted in parallel with overworld planning. May 1994. Eiji Onuma begins dungeon concept work. Early forest and fire temple layouts exist only as blockouts. Sword combat prototypes emphasize Chanbara, samurai techniques. June 1994. Motion capture planning begins. Stunt performers are contacted. Early Link movement tests focus on weight, inertia, and realism. The idea of time flow affecting gameplay is introduced. July 1994. Internal debate. First-person versus third-person Zelda. Miyamoto strongly favors first-person at this stage. Enemy eye research begins. Inspired by cinematic pacing rather than arcade reflexes. August 1994. Staff expands past 80 developers. Early height Hyrule field layout experiments with scale unseen in console games. Initial hub-only contingency design. Link trapped in Ganon's castle is documented. September 1994. Early Z-targeting system implemented with a generic lock-on marker. Combat immediately feels more readable and strategic. Developers realize camera control must be limited and intelligent. October 1994. Story planning begins under Taru Osawa. Early themes of destiny, growth, and time are outlined. Link is still imagined as an adult hero. November 1994. Prototype towns inspired by medieval Europe begin taking shape. NPC density tests reveal memory strain on early builds. Internal concern grows over cartridge size limits. December 1994. First playable internal build exists. Link can walk, swing a sword, and lock onto enemies. Performance is unstable but promising. Staff count approaches 120. 1995. A structural decisions public revealed January 1995. Child Link concept introduced. First-person perspective is officially abandoned so Link remains visible. Story rewrites begin immediately to support dual timelines. February 1995. Z-targeting redesigned by Yoshiaki Koizumi. Fairy icon replaces robotic marker. Internally named the Fairy Navigation System. March 1995. Fairy gains personality and name. Navi. Navi's existence reshapes puzzle design and narrative delivery. Considered a pivotal turning point by the team. April 1995. Miyamoto begins supervising 5 directors simultaneously. Team specialized. Combat controls, camera eye, dungeons, story cutscenes, sound effects. May 1995. Miyamoto travels to Germany, studying Lower Franconia architecture. High Hyrule Castle market takes shape based on half-timbered Bavarian towns. June 1995. Cutscene system built entirely in real-time rendering. Decision made, no pre-rendered FMV, regardless of storage medium. Cutscene team stays intentionally small. 3A7 people. July 1995. Motion capture sessions begin with stunt performers. Sword swings, rolls, and jumps are recorded. Animations stress realism over exaggeration. August 1995. Early boss concept, Ganondorf doppelganger riding through paintings, later refined into the Forest Temple boss. Hub-only contingency officially shelved. September 1995. Cartridge size target increased from 16 megabytes to 32 megabytes. Becomes Nintendo's largest cartridge ever. Memory concerns ease, but optimization remains critical. October 1995. Music composition begins under Koji Kondo. Area-based themes tied directly to locations. Ocarina gameplay integration planned from the start. November 1995. Some ideas diverted to Super Mario 64, which is prioritized for release. Zelda team accepts delays as necessary for ambition. December 1995. Zelda 64 shown publicly for the first time at Shoshinkai. Demonstration focuses on tone, scale, and combat, not final gameplay. 1996. A engine evolution feature lock-in January 1996. Development officially migrates off the 64DD. Streaming animation proves too demanding. Cartridge confirmed as final medium. February 1996. Engine diverges heavily from Super Mario 64. Miyamoto later calls them different engines. Camera eye becomes a defining technical pillar. March 1996. Dungeon Order finalized. Adult, child link transitions integrated into world logic. Time travel rules locked. April 1996. Hobbit shopkeeper character cut. Concept later reused as Deku Scrubs. Enemy variety expanded dramatically. May 1996. Difficulty tuning begins. Miyamoto insists game be easier than Super Mario 64. Accessibility becomes a design priority. June 1996. Fire Temple theme includes add and sample from sound library. No religious implications recognized at the time. July 1996. Cutscenes surpass 60 minutes total length. All real-time, late-stage story edits continue without re-render delays. August 1996. Staff peaks at over 200 developers. Budget surpasses $12 million. Performance optimization intensifies. September 1996. Master Quest concepts quietly begin as 64DD expansion ideas. Internal name: Zelda. October 1996. Full game playable start to finish internally. Bug fixing begins in earnest. November 1996. Marketing planning starts. Nintendo positions Zelda as a system-saving title. December 1996. Holiday 1997 release window officially missed. Game pushed to 1998. 1997. A delay, refinement, competitive pressure. January 1997. Development focus temporarily shifts to Yoshi's story. Zelda team operates with reduced resources briefly. February 1997. Competitive analysis of Banjo-Kazooie. Emphasis on Polish and scale increases. Market June 1997. Dungeon puzzles refined. Camera edge cases addressed. NPC schedules adjusted to reflect time flow. July 1997. Fire Temple music flagged internally for policy concerns. Replacement version prepared quietly. August 1997. Zelda nearly complete, but release uncertain. Cartridge manufacturing cost deemed too high. September 1997. Marketing budget locked at $10 million. Gold cartridge collector's edition approved. October 1997. Final QA cycle begins. Multiple revision builds produced. November-December 1997. Holiday pressure intense. Nintendo commits publicly to 1998 release. 1998. A finalization launch January-February 1998. Bug fixes, text adjustments, and final optimization. Ganondorf blood recolored green and later revisions. March 1998. Most anticipated Nintendo 64 game in Japan. Powered Lincoln demands on-time release. April-June 1998. Cartridge manufacturing begins. Religious audio sample fully removed before launch. July 1998. Collector's edition finalized. Pre-orders exceed expectations. October 1998. Multiple minor revisions prepared. Electronics Boutique halts pre-orders due to demand. November 1998. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time ships worldwide. Becomes an instant critical and commercial landmark. Legacy notes: Zelda later becomes Master Quest. Ocarina establishes Lock-on combat standard, cinematic real-time storytelling, 3D adventure design foundation. I did do a development timeline for Zelda in 2024 and is accurate. A link to that video will be in the description.